are going to be so disappointed. Are we all open? What a town. What a fucking town. I'll have a look at you all first. I ain't met anybody that ain't man yet. Foo Fighters. What a town, what a town. It's the only town I know in the UK where you can go down the road at lunchtime and get a paper and stalk the shoppers, and then all of a sudden you're surrounded by a load of women in wetsuits carrying surfboards. Nobody bats an eyelid. They just disappear. And then tea time you go back into the town. You see the same group of women again, but they're all glammed up. One of them's in full pride and regalia. Instead of the surfboard, she's got a large inflatable cock under her arm. And still no one bats an eyelid. I saw them going to Frankie and Penny's. I'm not going to follow them in and see them get thrown out. No, come in ladies, come in. Let me take that for you, madam. I want it for safekeeping. And he sticks it in the corner of the restaurant, behind some little kid in a high chair. And so it's the most normal thing in the world. Now, anyway, my name's Mark. And I live just up the road. I'm quite clearly not a man of Cornwall, or a din of Kerno, as we locals say, but I am doing the Cornish conversion course. I've just finished the second module, which is how to spot a tourist. I'm not allowed to call them an Emmett until the certificate comes. It's quite simple, really. I'll go about that first. No, go on, because I ain't got anything better. No, it's how you spot a tourist. It's quite simple, really. You go down to the square in front of the old Newquay Arms, and basically, if there's a group of people stood in a circle eating Cornish pasties, that's the first couple of days of their holiday. And at the end of their holiday, they're the ones walking up and down Bank Street, carrying boxes of fudge and wearing Salt Rock t-shirts. And you know, when they go home, don't they say, God, talk about time your holiday, right? I was only there for the week they had their big sale. So I always have 2 t-shirts and a hoodie, you know it, don't you? You know it. Well anyway, we decided, well it's the wife decided, you have to go along with it. We decided to move down to Cornwall because we used to come down there every summer and we go camping. And we spend 2 weeks down there, spend every day on Fiscal Beach, and I would hire a surfboard for the fortnight, never actually get it wet, I used to just carry it, not on the surface. I got away with that for 4 years. And then in the evenings, we'd go up to Lusty Place for some down session or something, and then we'd ride that poxy little train back into town afterwards. Yeah, you know. And there's only so long that you can do it before you think, if we move down here, we can do it every day. And people say to us, you see, if you had to put your finger on one thing, why you moved to Cornwall, just the one thing, what would it be? So me and the wife discussed it, and we were both in agreement. We both really fucking hate camping. So we decided to move down there. Now when we decided to move down there, we didn't anticipate the problem that we would have down there. People warned us, they told us, and it was obvious really. They said, the people of Cornwall are not very friendly. You've been outcast, you've been outside. How fucking wrong with that? You can't do anything without somebody talking to you. So you know why everybody said directly, because nobody knows how fucking long it's going to take to do anything. Oh, God, no, the problem we faced, and we should have realised, was when we bought our house, we were not only buying a house for us and our children, we were buying a holiday home for our family and friends. You know the ones you only see at funerals? Saturday night, be a phone call, wife will say, it's your cousin Jimmy on the phone, and you think 2 things straight away. Who's died? Is there a will? And he says, oh, hello. He says, oh, we just thought we'd pop down and see you. Now this is a bloke who couldn't pop down and see me when I was 10 minutes away. I now live 250 miles away and he can pop down. So I say, oh, when are you going to pop down? Saturday afternoon, I'll get a pizza. He said, no, we were thinking about popping down for the last 2 weeks of July. Cheeky bastards, yeah. But what I really love about Cornwall was summed up in a night out in Newquay last year. I've got 2 teenage daughters and I don't know. And I'm supposed to agree with me at that point. And they were going to a party, they won't get back till midnight. And so me and the wife were indoors and I thought, can't listen to that all night. So we'll walk down into town together and have a meal. So we walked down into the town, into the part of town where the Astra and the railway station is. It's, what's that area called? The shitty part of town. down there, and it was quite obvious early on that we were the only couple out as a couple. We were the only couple, we were the only people that weren't part of a stag night, the only people that weren't part of a hen night, and we were pretty much the only people in Cornwall that night that weren't in fancy dress. I mean, that street, it looked like the parade at Disneyland. So we've gone into that Mexican, it's like a Mexican bar and a restaurant upstairs. I don't know what it's called. It's not as good as it is. Well, it wouldn't be, would it? But we've gone in there, and as we walked in, everybody's dressed as a wizard or a goblin. And me and the wife were just like in our normal clothes, and we felt really out of place. So it was our first day at Hogwarts, it was really weird. Turns out, Harry Potter is getting married. Ron was the best man, and everybody else dressed up. So we're walking through, because you've got to go to the back to get to the stairs. And this is big, I couldn't get past him, so I said, excuse me. And he didn't move. And he wasn't being rude, he just couldn't hear me. And no word of a lie, his mate tapped him on the shoulder and said, Simon, let the mobiles through, will you? So, we got upstairs, and the restaurant's completely empty, apart from 4 waiters. I thought, this is early close, and it's only 9 o'clock. So I said to the fella, you just closing? He said no, and he said the most stupid thing that I've ever heard. And he said, this is Newquay, sir. Everybody likes to have a drink, likes to have something early, so they can concentrate on their drinking. I mean, is that the most ridiculous thing that you've ever heard? I'm not the world's most cleverest man, but no way have I ever been in a serious debate at the bar where somebody's been talking to me about football and they'd say, just hang on there, mate, I've got to think about this. Yeah, go on, you were saying. I mean, isn't that the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? So anyway, we sit down for something to eat and we've got 2 waiters each. And it's all right to start with, but as soon as you put something down there on you, it becomes a pain in the arse again. And we were just trying to discuss what colour we were going to paint our lounge. Because I actually like green, my wife likes blue, but it turns out 2 of the waiters like blue, and one of them actually suggested we go to something warmer, like a yellow. So it got to the point we decided that we were going to go out and get some cake elsewhere rather than have a pudding. So we walked back down through the bar, Harry Potter's left, but there's some Romans and some cavemen in there now, and they get on quite well. We start walking up towards the post office. Now, my wife has got one of these wonderful married ladies' brains that's had kids, and it's all gone a bit wild. She can go to Tesco's with a list, everything's written down, crosses stuff off, but she still manages to forget things. You walk past the Tesco Express at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night, and she can remember the most unimportant thing that we need. You know, you walk in on there, oh, we need some olive oil. And I know that I'm going to be carrying this bottle of olive oil around all night now, looking like I've won the world's shittiest raffle. So we go in there, and I'm just reading the paper, and she's queuing up. And suddenly there's a load of noise down the front. I said, what's going on? She said, Super Mario has just nicked a case of lard. I said, did you see it? She said, yeah. She said, what happened was, his mate's pushed a load of stuff over, and he's pissed off with a beer. I said, okay. Suddenly the old Bill come in, there's a couple of them, have you seen anything? She's like, no. When we get outside, I said, why did you tell her you didn't see anything? She's looked at me like she's looked at me before. She said, no one likes the grass. And then she said, can you imagine if I did say what I saw if I was taking a piss? Because you know they get all sarcastic, don't they? She said, you can imagine it now, can't you? So, madam, you say that the offender was dressed like an Italian plumber. He had a big red hat on and was starting big baggy overalls. And then he would have turned around and said to her, and now you're going to tell me he made off towards Watergate Bay on a motorised scooter when he was chucking tortoise shells at everybody that tried to get near him. I said, yeah, you got a point, so we had to leave it. So we carried on walking into town, and we got to the Central Bar. Do we all know the Central Bar? Yeah. For those of you who are out of town, it's a big bar on the bend there. It's got a patio with a fence around it, and there's a gateway with 2 bouncers on it to stop the undesirables getting in. Has anybody ever been in there? Yeah. How fucking undesirable do you have to be to not get in there? You're going on a Friday night, it's like a muppet show on acid. Anyway, we get there. And she said, oh, there's some trouble over there. And I'm thinking, oh God, she's going to want to get involved. We're going to have to hold her hand back while she sorts it out. You look over there, and there's this big bloke who's built up prop forward, and he's trying to get in the pub. And he's going in like a gorilla. And these 2 doormen, it's taking all their might to hold him back. And as is traditional, he's got a little mate with him who's not helping matters. This little bloke is so excited, he looks like he's in the chorus line of Riverdance, but he keeps forgetting where he's supposed to be. Because he's sort of like... and he's really not helping helping matters. Eventually, one of the doormen gets the big bloke in a headlock so it frees his arm. When the little bloke gets close enough, he labs him. He hits him, he goes down like way in his kitchen. And he's across the road there. Everybody from the pub has rushed over to the fence to see what's going on. And this bloke's just sparkling. And then, because of how everybody's dressed, somebody dressed as Hulk Hogan just goes over to him, and I think I was going to help him, but he just puts his foot on his chest and has his photo taken. But the pub love it, they're giving it Hogan. Then he takes it too far, because he stands on one of them black bins, and he's going to jump on it. And I'm a parent of teenage daughters, mature side, someone's going to get hurt here, I'll do something. And then I think, no, I'm out with my missus, I've got no kids, I want to see what happens. and then, a bloke dressed as Superman stands in front of him, and he just goes, no! Hogan thinks better of it and gets down. Superman turns around, picks up the little fella, carries him over to the side of the road, stands him up and backs him down. The pub are loving it, they're clapping. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And everybody's really happy. All except the little bloke, who headbutts Superman. His nose is clearly broken, there's claret everywhere, and you don't expect this. Superman bursts into tears. And I'm not sure if it's the pain, or the fact that he's just lost a deposit on his dressing up outfit. But you don't realise how you get engrossed in this, because the Incredible Hulk comes over, and I actually said to my missus, oh, we'll be alright now, the Hulk will sort him out. And all the Hulk did was get a handkerchief, give it to Superman, put his arm around him and walk him away. Little bloke now thinks he can take on everybody, because he's done Superman and he's seen off the Hulk. One of the doormen shouts, can somebody hang on to him, the police are coming. And finally, the little bloke gets restrained by two blokes who are dressed up as the two birds from ABBA. Now, I can only ever tell this story tonight and never anywhere else. Because everybody's either going to think I've made it up, I was drugged, or been sniffing glue. But I can see you people saying that same thing happened last week. This is Newquay, this is what happens. So all I can say is people of Newquay, it is my absolute privilege to be living amongst you. Thank you very much for listening. My name's Mark Dennett, good night.